I'm calling this meeting of the City of South Lebanon regular council meeting to order, November the 7th, 2024 at 6:00 p.m.
Allen,
Present.
Carmack,
Present.
Combs,
Present.
Feder,
Present.
Harrison,
Present.
Spicer.
Present.
And now we will all rise for the prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you in prayer this evening to ask you to grant us wisdom, guidance, and bless the work we do here this evening. Let us do it with respect for each other and our community. Bless all of our first responders and their families. Keep them safe from harm. Bless our veterans as we recognize them over this weekend and every day. Bless them for their service and sacrifice that they make every day without any recognition. Be with this country and community as we move forward to build a better community for all of our citizens. We pray all these things in your name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. Be seated. This evening, we have a guest that is going to help us understand Warren County emergency response teams. And his name is Paul Heller, and I invite him now to give his presentation and introduce himself.
All right, thank you. Again, my name is Paul Hallweller. I'm the current president of the Warren County Community Emergency Response Team. Was installed in February. I get a 2-year term, so less than a year in. The Warren County Community Emergency Response Team has probably been around since I think like 2016. So still fairly new. My background is when I lived in California, I was with the Red Cross. When I lived in Springville, Utah, they had a City of Springville CERT, Community Emergency Response Team. And then when I moved back to Ohio, I found the Warren County CERT. And so what I'm here to today is give you a background of what is a community emergency response team, how did it start, what do we do, and we can go from there. Okay, back in 1989, some may remember a major earthquake in San Francisco right during the World Series. FEMA realized at that time that was just overwhelming for all emergency services. And that the first people on the scene were citizens, people. And they wondered if there was a better way to handle large emergencies. And so the city of Los Angeles, not waiting for FEMA, started their own community emergency response team. FEMA saw that and adopted it in the early 90s for their own. So community emergency response teams are actually organized under FEMA. You go to them for permission to organize a community emergency response team. And so they've given us 2 missions. One is to train people who can assist first responders to pick up some of the work that we can be trained in so they can do the work that requires higher skills. And so therefore, we're relieving them of some of that burden when called upon by, in this case, the Warren County EMA. And the second part is to train the community so they are better prepared for those emergencies, for the tornadoes, for the storms, for the floods, for the straight line winds, whatever may come. So they're better prepared so we reduce the number of victims. Okay. And so that 2 missions, one respond and one prepare. So as far as emergency response, one has to be at least 18 years old to be a member of CERT. But we have no problem training 16, 17-year-olds feeding that pipeline. The skills, not everyone who takes the training will join CERT, and that's okay. Even if they don't join, they are now better prepared to respond in their own community, in their own family, with their neighbors. And then we look for opportunities to share community preparedness with whatever group would like us to come in. and help them better be prepared. And we'll talk about that a little bit later in the slides. Okay, so we respond as the Warren County EMA calls us out. They call me, I contact the rest of the CERT members, and they tell us where they need us to go. And then we report to whoever's in charge there, whether it's the police chief, the fire chief, whoever's in charge, because they're probably the ones who called the EMA and said we could use some help. And so we say, okay, what do you need? And then we organize in groups of 2 to go do what we're needed until we're not needed, and then we go back home. So emergency response training, situational assessment, critical thing for emergency response, because you don't want to walk into a situation without checking it out. Otherwise, you could be the next victim. We had a drill in Springville, Utah. It was in a warehouse. There was a puddle of water on the floor, and there was a victim in the puddle of water. One of the rescuers went over there, touched the victim, and died because down the other end of the puddle was a 220 line. Again, watching this situational awareness so you don't become that next victim. Team organization, because you never know who's going to be first on the scene. So first on the scene will be the initial team leader at the beginning of the organization until someone more senior shows up. Emergency operations, knowing how that structure works within the EMA and within the first responders. Triage and first aid for mass casualties. So if there's a mass casualty situation, we have been trained in how to do quick triage, take care of life-saving situations, breathing, bleeding, shock. 95% of bleeding can be stopped just by pressure. And then small fire safety and small fire suppression. We're talking fire extinguisher size fire suppression. So we're talking like maybe that big. Light search and rescue, which also includes building assessment. Because I need to assess the building if I need to search it for victims to make sure it's safe for me to go into. And so again, and that's just some of the training. And again, and this training is set up by FEMA. FEMA sets the training curriculum. The paperwork, the PowerPoint slides, and the training is learning, but all the training has practical application. If we're going to talk you how to do triage, we're going to have you practice triage. If we're going to tell you how to do fire suppression, we will make a fire and have you do fire suppression. Everything is as actual as we can get it. We recently had someone at one of our meetings who is an expert in medical barrage. That makes the injuries look more real. So when you're confronted with it, you're not freaking out. Again, all this is set up by FEMA so that the first responders can have confidence that we are trained appropriately to be able to assist them in those areas we are trained in. And there are times when local communities wish to train CERT in other areas. I'll give you an example. In Springville, Utah, just this year, the fire department realized that, there's not a whole lot of disasters. So how do we keep the CERT community engaged? And so that, there's more fires than disasters. So they equipped the trailer, trained a crew to be able to help restore and rehydrate the firefighters. And that's additional training they didn't have before, additional equipment they didn't have before. But the fire department thought that if we do that, one, we can keep them more engaged, and that will help us out. So it's a win-win. We do, as I mentioned, that one drill with the puddle. We do drills at least once or twice a year. We just did one up at Armco Park in November in coordination with the Butler County Emergency Response Team. We had a scenario, campers, straight line winds. And so we go out and find the victims. We've got them tagged with what their maladies are. They have to do the triage. They call in to, okay, we need an ambulance here or whatever. So again, as real as we can make that scenario for them. So training there's some online basics and about 20 hours of in-person instruction and hands-on work, which ends in the final disaster drill. And yes, we do set up traps for people who aren't watching where they're going. We have one time we used a larger room than this, the room over in the Justice Center. And there's another room where someone was yelling, help, help. And the door was open a little bit. Open the door. Yeah, the 220 line comes out on you. So you got to look up. And when we were at Armco Park, which wasn't too long after the hurricane rainstorm, yeah, we saw branches up in the trees that were just waiting to fall. So looking up, always a good thing. So we give them the training. Our next training is the end of February, early March. So the last Saturday in February, first Saturday in March. There's lots of ways to do training, a couple hours a week for several weeks, 2 weekends, 2 Saturdays. So this time we're doing 2 Saturdays. Every CERT member, one who wants to be a CERT member gets a background check, which is revalidated every 5 years. Waiver of liability, we are a 501c3, not-for-profit organization. Some CERTs are organized underneath municipalities, insurance, we are not. And obviously we promote active participation. Every month we have a meeting to refresh those skills. So it's not like you've been trained once and you get to forget them. We will go through the same kind of training. We will split legs. We will stop the bleed. We will practice using tourniquets, whatever we need to do to keep those skills fresh. Now, if there's an emergency and EMA calls us out, we will let the CERT membership know where to be. If you happen to be one of those CERT members in the emergency area, obviously your responsibility is going to be to yourself, your family, and your neighbors before you ever come out to us. And if you're not, if you're not in the disaster area and you can come, as you come, we ask you to look around. Because you may see things that the first responders don't know yet. Because they're not on every street. So as you're going down there, you may see things that you want to report when you get there. And obviously, this is Ohio, and we can get fires, storms, winds, chemical spills, major traffic accidents, and heaven forbid, terrorism and shooting. But we train for the aftermath of all of those. And so for family preparedness, we really need to question, how ready are you for that disaster? If you need to get up and go in 5 minutes, you look at some of the wildfires in California, that's all they had or less. Are you ready to get up and go? Do you have stuff to take with you? If your kids aren't there, do they know where to find you? Is there a communication plan so you can connect with each other? Cell phone towers may be overwhelmed. The texting is on a different system. So you may be able to go through texting if you can't get through the cell phone. If you need to evacuate or even shelter in place, do you have what you need? Do you have a weather radio so you can figure out what's going on outside while you're staying inside? So you know when it's safe to come back out. Do you have the documents? If your house is wiped out, do you have documents you need to reestablish yourself? Or copies of those you can just grab and take with you? We get them starting thinking about these things. So some of the CERT, we mentioned some of these already, firefighter recovery and rehydration. They took special training, evacuation we can work on. Warren County has talked to us about EMA, about wanting us to be more involved maybe with hot and cold shelters, helping to staff those. Traffic control has been actually for the Springville, Utah CERT. That is the first thing they did for the community. There was a fire up on the mountains and they had policemen stationed at the road going up to the fire, just let emergency vehicles in. And so they called out CERT, CERT came, and when it came up, the policeman said, thank you, because they have plenty of other things they need to do. And so for like 3 days straight, 24/7, CERT manned that pass, just let emergency vehicles in and out. And that freed up any of the officers who would have had to do that. Triage first aid, life search and rescue, crowd control would require additional training. So how we can help is sort of like up to your imagination. So one of the mottos of CERT is trying to do the most good for the most people, especially when, and that really comes in play with mass casualty. You may not be able to help everyone, but if I'm going to help one person or 10 people, I'm going to help the 10 people. And so if we can increase community preparedness, make fewer victims, get more CERT volunteer trained, we are in a rebuilding phase here because as Mayor Burke realized, she didn't know we existed. And I'm sure that's not an uncommon theme. We just revamped our website to make it look better, be more functional. And so we're starting on that rebuilding process. And so we are here, we are rebuilding. How can we help? Any questions? Yes.
How many members do you currently have?
We have 30 on the records. I would say we have 15 active. Actually, that's one of the things on my to-do list is to assign one of the board members to actually call that whole list and see where they actually are. But we, as far as showing up to meetings, 15.
And how would we, getting a hold of you, of course, how would we get involved to have some people on staff that were trained in those areas? Whether it just sign up,
Go to our website and sign up for the training.
okay,
You can have discussions with the Warren County EMA, Melissa Bauer, Sydney Renner, the two contacts I've been working with.
well, I think it's a really important step in the process. Absolutely, because you never know when a tornado is going to come through or just any number of, situations that we might face. And it's good to know to have a contact and where to go and how
Mhm.
we can, as a community, put this word out and get our community involved in training and doing these things as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, a couple months ago, Warren County EMA asked if we could help American regulators. They were cleaning up. There was a barn that was damaged during the tornado and it finally fell down. So American regulators they do cleanup. They do cleanup for free after a disaster. And so our job was to just take the barn totally away so that the people who live there could start anew. If you want to plant grass there, if you want to put a new building there, it is there, leveled, ready for you to take that next step. And so we went out there for a weekend, and between us and the mechanical equipment, mission accomplished for that family. And we were able to save some of the heirlooms from the barn. We tried, the American regulators works. So that isn't typically on our list, but it's definitely something we like to do to keep our members active in between times.
Okay, well, are there any other questions or? Did you say, what are the age limits? Age limits, I mean, like the high school students?
So to actually be a member of CERT, to be called out on an emergency, you have to be at least 18.
How old?
18
18, okay.
to be called out. We will gladly train older teenagers, 16, 17, so that they have the skills, but we can't bring them into actual CERT activity until they're 18.
Okay. I know they, like Kings, they require
Mhm.
community service hours, and if you're a 501c3, they could get that would encourage them to learn that, and if they're in the process of turning 18, some of them turn 18,
Yeah, that's a possibility.
okay.
That would be a great, I think, to go to the schools in this area to, find and start training these young men and women, to do things like this. I think that would be a great avenue to reach out to Little Miami and Kings.
We had an initial request from Warren County Career Center, where they teach the EMS classes, to introduce CERT to them. We haven't found a date yet, but we actually met that guy when we were out at National Night Out. The city of Carlisle asked us to participate in National Night Out for awareness. And we met the Career Center teacher, and he said, hey, I need you guys to come out and do this. And we actually have one of our members who is actually up there regularly teaching first aid and CPR and those kind of things. So he'll probably take care of that task.
Okay, well, I want to thank you for coming out and speaking to us. If nobody has any other questions or concerns? Okay,
Okay. And
Thank
thank you
you.
again for inviting me. Really appreciate it.
thank you for
Yes.
coming.
Have a great evening, and I'm going to go to dinner.
Thank you.
Thank you and have a great evening.
Okay,
Thanks.
I'll now open the floor to the public. And I can't read.
Edward.
Phrygia, I just couldn't. Oh, okay. Okay. Mark Linger, same. Rhonda Sullivan, Gallivan? Gallivan. Did you want to speak? Oh, okay.
They're on the witness list.
Is this the witness list?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anybody else that would like to speak? Hearing none, I will now close the floor to the public and we'll get on with business. New business, resolution 2024-39, first reading, approving and amendum to the agreement with the Warren County Sheriff for police protection in calendar year 2025. This is the first reading, so it is so entered into the record. Is there any discussion that anybody wants to have about that before? Okay. Moving on to resolution 2024-40, first reading, approving the appointment of Andrew P. Meyer as law director for the city, establishing compensation through December 31st, 2026. It is the first reading, so entered into the record. Resolution 2024-41, first reading, approval of pre-annexation with the Oder family for 112.1665 acres of land in Hamilton Township located at 5274 Zor Road. Is there any discussion?
Okay, it's not really to do with the annexation, but I know it's got to be in the pre-annexation. And I'm really concerned with traffic flow up there. And on the, it kind of goes into our next area of business on High Point. Because you have High Point over here, you're gonna have the new one here, and then you have the, I forget the name of the one on up, if you're coming from 22 and 3, next to High Point. And then you have Fredericks. Okay? And when you're coming from 22 and 3, you dip down that little hill where we just put in the 3 new houses on High Meadow. And then you've got that bend in the road. There's a graveyard on this side, on the Oder side. That area right in there, I don't know how we get a turn lane. I know we were gonna have like a traffic survey or something, but I just don't want this coming back in 3 or 4 years after somebody gets smacked up there. And all of a sudden the city has to put in turn lanes. I think it needs to be addressed before, we build. You've got 185 lots in High Meadow, I think with section 5 when it completes, and 174 on the other side. That's potentially almost 400 houses. You're looking at 800 cars, because usually each house has 2 cars. In and out, plus buses, plus this. And it's just, that's a place where after that curve, they speed up. I live on Zor, so I know the traffic well. But they speed up after that curve. And then there's the new there's the new entrance, and then there's High Meadow. And I just think somebody turning left into the new one, you could potentially get, in a bad wreck. So I don't know how I'm not a traffic engineer, but I just know we've got to do something there. Because it's just getting really, it's a lot of people. That's my only question.
So,
I'll
okay,
let Jerry.
yeah, so as part of the planning process, so after, the process be the annexation goes through, the rezoning, what they were asking for. At that point, they did start doing the construction drawings and all the design of the project. And during that project, they would have a traffic study, a traffic impact study. And at that point, the engineers would determine what kind of improvements need to be made to make that meet the standards for safety. So whether the traffic lane or another turn line, whatever it is on whichever development it is. So that's down the road, we can't do that until traffic study and all the engineering's done on it. So, but that's, that's, as part of the process, that's all done as we go along. So, like Ed's, development, over on Stryker Road, there was their entrance off of Stryker. As part of the traffic study, required turn lanes into that, and which they just recently installed. So, and that was warranted by the study.
But having said that, your concerns are duly noted and entered into the record, okay? And so this is the first reading of Resolution 2024-41, and it is so entered into the record. Moving on to Emergency Resolution 2024, authorizing a development agreement for High Meadows Section 3 subdivision with Drees. Is there any discussion or questions?
What is the importance of doing it by emergency and not by resolution?
So as in the zoning regulations, there's the planning commission actually has 30 days to approve it. Now, since there's actual roadway way, that's why the council has to see it as well. So we have a time frame that we have to get it approved by. Otherwise, it's automatically approved, potentially. So that's the reason why these are done as emergencies.
Okay, so I will need a motion to waive the 2 reading rules and a second.
Linda Allen, I'll make a motion to waive the rules.
Lisa Feder, I'll second.
Allen,
Yay.
Carmack,
Yay.
Combs,
Yay.
Feder,
Yay.
Harrison,
Yay.
Spicer.
Yay.
I will need a motion to approve by title only and a second.
Brenda Combs. A motion to approve.
Second.
Allen,
Yay.
Carmack,
Yay.
Combs,
Yay.
Feder,
Yay.
Harrison,
Yay.
Spicer.
Yay.
Thank you. Motion carries. Moving on to Emergency Resolution 2024-43, authorizing a record plat for High Meadows Section 3 subdivision. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I will need a motion to waive the 2 reading rule.
Combs, a motion to waive the 2 reading rule.
I'm sorry, and a second.
Linda Allen, second.
Allen,
Yay.
Carmack,
Yay.
Combs,
Yay.
Feder,
Yay.
Harrison,
Yay.
Spicer.
Yay.
I will need a motion and a second to approve by title only.
Linda Allen, I make a motion to approve by title only.
Sharon Carmack, second.
Allen,
Yay.
Carmack,
Yay.
Combs,
Yay.
Feder,
Yay.
Harrison,
Yay.
Spicer.
Yay.
Thank you. Motion carries. Emergency Resolution 2024-44, authorizing a development agreement for the Arbors at Grandin Pond Phase 1 subdivision with Grandin Road Development. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I need a motion to waive the 2 reading rule and a second.
Linda Allen, I'll make a motion to waive the rules.
Combs, second.
Allen,
Yay.
Carmack,
Yay.
Combs,
Yay.
Feder,
Yay.
Harrison,
Yay.
Spicer.
Yay.
Thank you. I will need a motion and a second to approve by title only.
Linda Allen, I'll make a motion to approve by title.
Combs, second.
Allen,
Yay.
Carmack,
Yay.
Combs,
Yay.
Feder,
Yay.
Harrison,
Yay.
Spicer.
Yay.
Thank you. Motion carries. Emergency Resolution 2024-45, authorizing a record plat for arbors at Grandin Pond Phase 1 subdivision. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I need a motion to waive the two reading rule and a second.
Combs, a motion to waive the two reading rule.
Carmack, second. Allen,
Yay.
Carmack,
Yay.
Combs,
Yay.
Feder,
Yay.
Harrison,
Yay.
Spicer.
Yay.
Now I need a motion and a motion and a second to approve by title only. Brain stopping there.
Linda Allen, I make a motion for title only.
Combs, second.
Allen,
Yay.
Carmack,
Yay.
Combs,
Yay.
Feder,
Yay.
Harrison,
Yay.
Spicer.
Yay.
Thank you. Motion carries. Ordinance 2024-22, first reading, amending the city's personnel policy manual for changes to the on-call duties for city personnel. So entered into the record. And I need a motion and a second to approve invoices.
Combs, motion made.
Carmack, second. Allen,
Yay.
Carmack,
Yay.
Combs,
Yay.
Feder,
Yay.
Harrison,
Yay.
Spicer.
Yay.
Thank you. Motion carries. Now on to old business, Resolution 2024-37. This is the second reading, authorizing the initiation of a zoning text amendment to Section 15.11.7 of the City Zoning Code for private swimming pools. Is there any discussion?
You know I do. It's my little pet peeve. So I did talk to Jerry about this earlier this week because I did have quite a bit of questions because I know that this did go to the appeals board. It had come to us before and we voted no for it and they appealed it. And they won the appeal, but there was a lot of things that had to go along with it. And Jerry, you kind of want to explain that? I mean, it's each case.
Yeah, so the Board of Zoning Appeals, if anybody wants to appeal for a variance to the zoning code, they have the right to appeal. There's a whole list of criteria to meet. We've had multiple cases regarding this issue. They go from, people who already had fences installed to their HOAs only allow 4-foot fences, which conflicts with our zoning code. So, this is something that the BZA thought that it really should be, we get so many cases on this that maybe it should be reviewed again.
And this is just saying it to them.
This takes it back to the planning commission to the review, and then they'll, once they make a decision, a recommendation, they'll come back here. So.
Sharon, did you?
I make a motion to approve.
Sharon Carmack, second.
Allen,
Yay.
Carmack,
Yay.
Combs,
Yay.
Feder,
Yay.
Harrison,
Yay.
Spicer.
Yay.
Thank you. Motion carries. Resolution 2024-38, second reading, authorizing the submission of fiscal year 25 Community Development Block Grant, or the CDBG, application to the Warren County Office of Grants and Administrations for Hobart Street improvements. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I need a motion and a second to adopt by title only.
Combs, motion made.
Fetter, second.
Allen,
Yay.
Carmack,
Yay.
Combs,
Yay.
Fetter,
Yay.
Harrison,
Yay.
Spicer.
Yay.
Thank you. Motion carries. Now we can move on to our communication and reports from city officials and committees. And I will start this off. I don't have a lot to report other than, of course, we've been in lots of meetings and with lots going on. We do, and I'm going to let Jerry do this, okay? But we do have our new Public Works Director on board. I want to remind everybody that there will be a wreath laying at the memorial for Veterans Day at 10 o'clock a.m. And I'd like to see as many of you as can possibly come out. Mark your calendars for December the 20th for Sheriff Larry Sims' retirement. That's going to be in the Commissioner's Room at 406 Justice Drive, December the 20th. And there will be light refreshments reserved,
What time?
1 to 2 p.m. Did I not say that?
You said 4. So
You're trying to accuse, I'm sorry,
No, I'm glad you
from
said
1 to 2, okay,
Ceremony, there's a ceremony at 2 o'clock.
right. We haven't heard anything yet from the Warren County Municipal League about our holiday dinner, but I'm sure that will be coming forward. And we're planning, I'm sure Tina and I will be planning one for our, she's laughing at me, for our personnel coming up. I think that's all I have, but I really encourage you to come out to our, it's small this time, but our wreath laying memorial for Veterans Day on Monday at 10 o'clock p.m. a.m. No, I want to see y'all out there at p.m.
That's our kind of schedule.
Bring your flashlights. So we'll move on to our Director of Finance.
Thank you, Mayor.
I've had a lot on my mind.
I can join you with that. I did want to announce that we have had, we set out an offer this week for the tax commissioner position, and we have had an individual accept. And so we will probably be bringing him on board that week of Thanksgiving, so 2 weeks from now. I'll tell you a little bit more about him when it's all officially accepted, but we made the offer today, verbally has been accepted. So then, but you know, before I announce it to the public, I do want to wait until I've got that in hand. But so that's moving along nicely. I think that individual will be a great asset to that office. We do have a lot of things coming up here with trying to get the budget approved by year end. With the tax administrator position out, it has put me a little bit behind because I've had to take on a different role of trying to run that office since that position's been vacant for the past couple of months. But the plan is still that I would try to have a finance committee meeting that lasts somewhere around the end of November. So I'll ask you guys to start checking your schedule so that I can go over a draft with you guys. And then the first reading or presentation of the budget would be that first meeting in December, and then approval on the second meeting. This year, I think instead of the hardback books, I probably will just PDF the whole binder with tabs and bookmarks. It was kind of nice and new of putting binders together, but when we do have small changes at the end, it's a lot to replace pages in the binder. But we will have copies of the hard copies here for the public, or for if you guys need one, we can always print things out. But that is the plan to kind of help facilitate getting that done quicker this year. I am still putting together the list of the capital items. I think we've met with everybody and kind of have an idea of the items that need to be in that capital budget. I don't have that list for you guys this evening, but we will definitely have it at the next meeting for us to at least kind of start making some comments on it, get back together with the finance committee to finalize it, and then pull that into the budget workshop that we will be doing on that first meeting of December. So with that, that's all I have this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Tina. Jerry?
Yeah, just a few things before I introduce Harry. Um, So the Forest Avenue project, just talked to the contractor today. He's still planning on being completed by Thanksgiving. So they started the curb today. Should wrap that up this week, and then I think they're planning on getting the asphalt done next week or so. Yeah. So I think the voting went well and smooth. We watched on our cameras all day long, people coming in and out. I mean, it was traffic right here, but seemed to be going smooth, and the Board of Elections, I think when I went in, they were quick, got people in and out, and that was good. So got notification that the new city or the FEMA flood maps will be effective in April 2025. It does a couple of things. It reduces some of the 100-year floodplain, but then it also increases, this is from the draft, we don't have the official maps yet, but increases some of the areas with the floodway, which is more restrictive than the floodplain. So between now and then, we'll have to update our floodplain ordinance. That's going to be required. So that'll come in, and then we'll get the word out. So I know some people are anxious.
Chomping at the bit.
That's
Yeah.
guilty ones over here.
Open at the bit.
So Hobart, they put the new fence up that goes along with the sidewalk. Contractors will be coming in for the sidewalk portion soon, I think next week or so. Let's see, River Creek Lofts, they've got the two of the buildings up, which is going to be 120 units total, plus the clubhouse. We spoke to them today. They're planning on getting the road work out in front of that completed next year. I think initially it was going to be 2026, but they pushed that up. And that'll tie into where our project stopped out there on Mason Marlbell Grove. Let's see what else we got. So with the two subdivisions that got approved tonight, that's a total of 105 new lots. On the actual home builder's website on the arbors, they're already showing 22 sold, 2 model homes plus 2 market homes, and things not even recorded yet. So I think the next phase of this will be coming sooner than later. So, and then I want to introduce our new Public Works Director, Harry Holbert. He'll come up to the podium. And Harry's had a lot of experience, and he's already kind of getting his feet wet. He's only been here, this is his 4th day, so
And he hasn't quit yet.
we've had some weird things already happen in the first week, but he can give an update on what he's been working on and kind of a background and from him as personally as well.
Hi, my name is Harry Hope. Thanks for the invite. Yeah, I do appreciate this opportunity to be here and be in charge of Public Works. I believe timing is everything. And you guys have a lot of great projects going right now. So it's the perfect time for me to come in. My background is both public and private. So I've spent 16 years in the public sector. I worked for Sycamore Township, Goshen Township, Columbia Township, and also the village of Woodlawn. Basically doing different roles at each one. Most recently, I was a consultant for the village of Woodlawn and also Columbia Township, where I did road projects, code enforcement, basically just establishing new standards and inspections, those type of things. As far as my private sector, I've got about 20 years of experience there. doing everything from architectural work, engineering work, project management. Basically, what I tell people, I've been on both sides of the drafting table, which kind of shows my age because nobody has a drafting table anymore. So I used to be the person submitting for my clients, submitting drawings, going to BZAs and zoning commission. Then I went into the role of reviewing those plans and then doing inspections and so on. So with that being said, just a couple quick update of what's going on. Waterworks. We've completed our monthly water samples. So we've sent those away. As you know, they'll be analyzed and we'll get a report back from those. Work orders, we get work orders in, they go to Amy, she then forwards it to Don. We're working on most of those and actually some of those have been completed so far. As far as the shut off process, I'm sure you're familiar with that. We have initiated that today and those have been completed. Inspections of utilities, construction, as Jerry said, Forest is well underway. They have curb and gutters for the first third of that road. So the project is actually going pretty well. They're right on schedule where they need to be.
They did hit a gas main yesterday and got that taken care of expeditiously. So, yeah.
Duke came out, they did a great job. They're very responsive. With my years of working with them, I've always found them to do nothing but improve every year with their services and responsiveness. So I'm happy we're working with them. Public Works has been working on leaf pickup all week, and that will continue until towards the end of, I think it's more towards the middle of December. But we've got a calendar on our website that shows the dates of when we go to certain areas, area 1, 2, and 3. We're still getting calls to come back where people have not followed that schedule. So we are doing the best job we can with getting back out there. Our guys are they're doing a great job right now with all they have, especially preparing for winter. I'm going to be getting with Tony to kind of go over some of the things that I want to feel a little bit more comfortable about, making sure our equipment's ready, not only the snow plows, the trucks, making sure we have enough salt, which I did check on that, and we've got more salt coming in throughout the season, so we should be pretty well prepared for that. Checking of lift stations, obviously that's an ongoing process. We do that. It's ongoing. We also have a consultant that comes in and looks at that. Any questions for me?
Welcome aboard.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Thank you. It's great to have you.
Thanks, man.
Andrew,
Nothing to report for me this evening. Thank you.
you're up next. I can't call you Sarge.
No, I'm the fill-in. He doesn't have anything for me to really.
State your name.
Deputy Fox, sorry.
Thank you.
It's usually Sergeant Adams that's here. So
Yes.
I'm not so good with this. He didn't have anything to pass on, but today the posting actually does come down for the deputy slot here in South Lebanon. So here, I think within the next week and a half, we will have another deputy down here on 4 to midnights. So that'll be very excited, being the only 4 to 12s guy, having that help, especially on the weekends. So that's really all that's going on that I'm aware of for us.
Well, that's great. And thank you for everything that you do for our community.
My pleasure. It's all our pleasure.
Congratulations, Daddy.
Thank you. Yes, I just returned after a 2-month hiatus, so
I thought I hadn't seen you.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough being back.
I'm sure that it is.
I'll be honest. But yeah, everything's going good for us, so
Well, that's great to hear. Thank you so much.
thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember Spicer,
Nothing to report.
Councilmember Federer,
Want to remind everyone, the horse parade, December 14th. Is it 4:30 or 4 o'clock?
I want to thank Lisa for the design of the Christmas banners we ordered. So after the veterans banners come down next week, those will go up in hopefully lighted spots, so everybody can see them.
Yes, they're beautiful. Councilmember Carmack.
Nothing to report.
Councilmember Harrison.
I guess, did everybody get their email about tomorrow's breakfast for the veterans
Mhm.
at, I
Yes.
sent, want to make sure everyone, because they asked me, did you invite council? And I said, well, I put it out, so that's why you got it late. I'm sorry, it was my
That's
fault.
okay.
But I'm going to make sure everybody got the invite, okay? And if you know a veteran,
And send them.
bring them with you or send them. Yeah, please do.
Can you just say a little bit about it, because I knew nothing about it, just for the minutes of like
Oh,
what the breakfast veterans.
It's at the. I already turned.
Warren County Career Center.
Yeah, Warren County Career Center, and the Warren County Career Center, I guess, they're gonna fix breakfast for all the veterans. It's open and Stand to Serve. Robin Kiley is organizing it, but the organization is called Stand to Serve, and there's gonna be some speakers there as well.
What time is that?
Well, the doors open at 7:30,
Wow.
but because it's breakfast. Right?
7:45.
7:45, you can sleep in.
7:45,
Read that, am I missing anything that I need to say?
Warm breakfast served at 8:30 until 9.
8:30 to 9.
8:30 to
breakfast.
9.
Thank you.
And the students are fixing the breakfast, so,
Okay.
Good deal.
they'd be thrilled to see, any veteran, give them a call tonight. Say, I'm fixing breakfast, but you got to meet me here.
It's a good idea.
And then, of course, I think Linda told me about the wreath for the veterans. We can't show our veterans enough love. And this is an opportunity too. And so I hope everybody, if, any veteran, that you give them that phone call. Okay? And thank you very much for what all you do. And everybody here feels the same way. We're 100% behind our law enforcement.
It's noted, we appreciate it.
I did, well, I'll tell you every time. And welcome aboard. That's it.
Councilmember Allen.
Yes, I'd like to thank everyone on the event committee. Everyone jumped in and said, hey, I'll do this, I'll do this. I want to thank Lisa for the banners. They were really nice. I want to thank Sharon for the signs for the horse parade and the Christmas in the city. And we got a lot of plans. Jerry's done a lot of work, and I just want to thank everybody for coming together, and it's really going to be nice down there. But I do have one question. A while back, we tabled the signs in Grant Bradbury. Have we done anything with that?
So I think we determined that the fire department has authority to do that, but
Okay.
we have at least, yeah, we have to get back on that one. Some of those areas haven't been formally accepted, so the developer is still going to be responsible for the signs. The accepted portions are going to be our responsibility though. So.
Bella? Oh, I do have one more. On that budget, you did get my splash pad, right?
All the rain, babe.
That's the wish list.
And after that, how long have you been here? 10 years.
Councilmember Combs. I said Combs.
I do have a question on the veterans banners. Are you guys gonna still be taking care of the
Yes.
banners? Okay, then I will continue it, 'cause I do that for my home anyway. Also, the car show, will I be able to still have
Yes.
that?
Oh, yes. ma'am.
Absolutely, thank you. Okay, and I'd like to thank our
Yes.
our officers for everything they do for us in Union Township over there. They do a magnificent job. And welcome. Hope you stay forever. And congratulations, Daddy, again. That's it.
Okay, is there anything else for the good of the order? Hearing none, I need a motion to adjourn.
Combs, motion. Oh, go ahead.
Harrison, I make a motion.
Combs, second.
All those in favor? Motion approved? Motion,